As the team is progressing and getting better all the time, let's talk a little bit about the transition. Now, it's been a little while since SDSU went from Division II to now Division I. From a coaching perspective, tell us a little bit about how that's changed your job in terms of travel and recruiting, the types of players you're looking for.
Yeah, it's changed a lot of things, and it's been really good, not just for our golf program, but for our entire university, as a lot of people know that. And the public opinion when we did it was pretty critical, but I think a lot of people have kind of done a 180 on that mindset and really have kind of bought into what we're doing, just with the success that we have had so far. But it's more of a big picture thing. We're looking at, we've had a lot of success the last 5 years. We have been Division I, but we're looking, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. It's things that we can do, and this is kind of the foundation for that. But it's what has changed. The travel has obviously gone from, traveling just in this area to all over the country, which has been kind of nice. And that's one nice thing about our location is that we can only drive to so many tournaments. And so when we start flying, we can go to California, we can go to Florida, we can go to Arizona, those kind of nice places, and that's just kind of nice. From a coaching standpoint, we've gone from, one part-time coach to now I'm full-time, and we have Steve Clark, my assistant coach, who is pretty much a 9-month full-time employee for us and then works a different job in the summer. And so that's obviously been a great addition to not just for ourselves personally as coaches, but also for the program, because we're able to put a lot more time and effort into the programs day in and day out, which is good.
The school is getting to transitioning from NAI to Division II, and I'm sure that there's some great things and some challenges that go along with that. Specifically for the golf program, how is that going to change your job and what you guys are doing?
It's going to change us a little bit, but right now we're kind of already in the mindset of D2. We've changed up our tournament schedule. We're trying to get into the tougher tournaments, like the Prairie Club Shootout. This spring with the guys, I think we're going to go play Cog Hill in Chicago, which is a really big D2 tournament. And for the women, we're going to be traveling to Missouri. So we're changing that up a little bit.
One of the things as you guys are transitioning in the school here is looking at a different conference. Tell us a little bit about the conference you're looking at and really how that might impact what you end up doing with the golf program.
Well, hopefully we'll get into the Northern Sun as a whole institution. It's a really strong conference, and not just for golf. All athletically, it's a pretty strong conference. Golf-wise, on the women's side, it's really strong. Obviously, Augie leads the way. They've set a really good high standard. And so our competition is going to change a lot for the girls. It's going to be an eye-opener, but hopefully we can play in tournaments so that we ease the transition. Next year, we're kind of in our purgatory year, so to speak, so we can play pretty much wherever. And that's what we'll try to do. For the men's team, it's a lot of the same. We've got to just get them out, get them experienced. The Northern Sun is strong. There's, I believe, 10 teams on men's golf. So we're looking to meet that standard once we get into it, and hopefully we'll get into it.
Now that you guys are Division I, SDSU Division I, and you're competing against these other big schools, the Iowa States, the Nebraskas, those types of things, for the players, are you having to travel farther to find more players? Are you still keeping kind of a local flavor to your team, or from a recruiting standpoint, what are you doing a little differently than maybe you didn't do 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mainly what we're doing is just recruiting harder. It's not really any different kid or any different area. Maybe expanded a little bit, and that goes along with South Dakota State University in general. We've just expanded our recruiting base just a little bit. We're still getting kids from the upper Midwest, but we're just getting better kids from the same areas, basically. And so we're out on the road more. We're contacting kids earlier than we ever have. September 1 of their junior year is kind of the key date for contacting kids from our standpoint. They can contact us at any point, but September 1st of their junior year is when we started contacting, and we try to get a hold of them as soon as we can after that. And between their junior and senior year, a lot of kids kind of come to the forefront as far as recruits go, and we battle those bigger schools in this area, but I think we're kind of sitting ourselves into the next tier right below them, and that's kind of what we shoot for. We certainly try to get those top tier kids, but if we don't, we've got a lot of kids to fall back on, and that's kind of how we've been filling our roster these last few years.